Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Peak. I am very tired. I'm so tired, you guys. Ugh. Doing my best, but Jesus. I've got a headache. Nasty one. In case you're curious why I'm tired today. It might be continuing from the previous headaches. It might be something else. I don't know. Anyway. Take your meds. Vitamins if applicable. I already have. Yeah, I already have. I am currently going to be sipping this root beer flavored Lost and Found energy drink. And hoping that the portion of this headache, which is caffeine withdrawals, eases up. Because I know that's part of it. I'm so goddamn tired, you guys. I feel like I've never slept in my life. We're going to see how I feel when I start getting up the mountain. Might try to go for further biomes. More than likely, I'll just run the shore. Then swap to something I don't have to think about. Really, I don't have to think about this very much, but like a Slay the Spire, probably. Blech. I don't know. I'm sure I have things to talk about. It's just... Blech. I feel like a pile of mush. I feel like I've been put in the blender. Mostly food items. Which ain't bad, but not ideal. Hmm. Oh my god, really? I don't know what's wrong with it. It says it's joined the channel, even though it hasn't. I just turned I turned it from top chat to live chat. I didn't see your message until I turned it to live chat. The one and only human submitted message in my whole feed got filtered out of top chat. What? I don't know. Budgix is gonna do what it does. I don't have the headache. I have the headache and it would make solving that problem difficult. Yup, first try on that sentence. Lovely. I don't know what's wrong with it. Hopefully I don't have to, like, swap to a different service. That would suck. Nah. And tomorrow is, I've got a, like, video call with my doctor to go over the lab results. And I've got a thing scheduled with Digi that we're gonna be fucking accountability buddies, and I'm going to hopefully get most of my application stuff submitted. At least the ones for Nuremberg. They have the most programs that I want. If I submit all of the Nuremberg applications today, or not today, tomorrow, and then, like, the rest of them the day after, that's still an even amount of work based on the amount of things that I want to apply for. Because it's like 8 things at Nuremberg and then 2 things at every other school. Then there's also the US ones. I don't remember what the deadline for those is. Up until, like, a couple minutes ago, I was just like, oh yeah, same deadline as everything else. And then I remembered Europe. So, who knows? I don't know, a month is more than enough time to get a bunch of applications in. And hopefully, I can schedule a short trip to Germany. See if I can chat with Crow, like, in person, which would fuck. Do a solo trip for, like, the first time in my life. That would rule. I feel like I am more emotionally resilient when I am, like, away from home and on my own. It's wild. I would say it's like the less support I have, the less I need. But I do think it is just the very specific way in which my family manifests support. Like, my subconscious betrays me as part of a survival instinct. Fun fact. Because I automatically become differential to my mother if we're out and about. Oh my fucking god, right? I've had, like, weeks alone at home because my brother's had, like, a competition or whatever. And I'd stay back to watch the dog and everything. And those are amazing. I love being able to walk around without having some kind of nagging fear in the back of my head that I'm being judged. And it's one of those fun things of, I don't get that in public, is the thing. Like, walking on the street, I never get that. Well, no. walking on like a city street, I never get that. I get that in like suburbs. I think it's one of those like the more isolated something feels, the more my brain is like, oh no, I'm being watched because there's like nothing else here. Oy. Blah. Arr. Arr. I'm doing my best to feel like a normal human. I don't think I'm getting there, but I'm trying. I did see a very fun YouTube short, though. I sent it to Dr. Liminal Shrooms. Why the fuck do I keep calling him a doctor? Anyway. I did find a cool, like, little comic voiceover with, like, a fucking furry cat girl. But the implied, like, story in it is so fascinating. There is this, you know, like, Cheshire Cat-esque, cat girl, and she's approaching the viewer, and going, "Good, you're lost. Now we can begin." And goes on to say some like kind of funny nonsense-ish statements, some riddly statements, that are also amusing, about like, so you asked me, you asked me if you were on the right path to follow the path of the mage. You asked me if you were going the right way to follow the path of the mage. I say, why follow any path at all? Like that kind of thing. And it sounds insane at first, and then they get into a little more detail, and you're like, oh shit. This is a cosmic entity, uh-huh. Also, do you guys like how I can fully just change the whole tone of my voice at will, basically? I'm very tired. This does not stop my ability to mask all of that. If I wanted to look upbeat, I could. Thankfully, I've decided not to care and not waste the energy. So, you know. But I could always pull a fucking, hey, what's up, YouTube? How's it going? Like, that can just come right out my ass at will. I could keep it up for a surprisingly long amount of time, too. It's just really bad for me, is the thing. There we go. But it's one of those, the comic does some VA stuff, and it's about the forbidden fundamental of magic, which is curiosity. And the character goes on a little rant about how, sure, these fundamentals can give you stability, but curiosity can set you free. And on and on, there's like it's such a powerful thing. I mean, why do you think they went through the effort to hide you from me? Like, full on. And it's one of those, like, oh, I feel like this character has slipped and revealed that they are more powerful than they appear. It's a really fun character. I would love to have that be like a warlock patron or something. Sounds fun. But yeah. I've dubbed that character Felixus Mortalis. Which is me roughly translating the phrase cat dead into Latin. Because feline kinda sounds like Felix. Felix kinda sounds like feline. And one of the many words for death is the fucking mortem. I'm very clever. I don't know if you guys knew this. I'm very clever, and you should all be so impressed by me. Oh, I did just realize that I did, like... Okay, I was on that vine right there a minute ago. Which is also a trait associated with cat. Cat. I do also like the idea of a patron representing like the concept of curiosity, who would very much like to see you very powerful, but can only give you things in response to questions. And if you don't ask the right question, they can't... You have to ask the right question, or else they can't give you the right power. I feel like that is a fun concept. And eventually, like... Oh, you've come to question me? That's what I like to see. Like, you know... Speak truth to power in all situations, including me. Granted, that is how I play the Prospector General, so, you know. Because whenever I play the Prospector General as a character, I do some variant of, like, speak truth to power, including me, especially me. Why aren't you questioning me? Where it is like a character who has very transparent imposter syndrome, but they always shine through, like, in the end, you know? So any story I tell about the Prospector General has them looking some level of wet cat pathetic, or has them showing amazing competency in the face of a crisis. This is because that is partially how I see myself as a person. But also, I do think it's just funny to have the most imposter syndrome character ever. But, like, you know, and it's not, like, immediately obvious why everyone looks up to them as, like, a leader type. And then you see them actually acting, like, in the moment, like, to solve a problem. And it's like, oh, they're hyper competent. They just have no self-confidence. It's one of those. I was thinking of ways to do fight animations for like various figures back in the Mound Makers days. Um, and when I was thinking of the Prospector General, one of the like ideas I had was effectively a drunken master style of combat, wherein they are sort of wandering around a cave, and incidentally, like, taking out a ton of drifters and such by just, like, swinging at ore and fucking it up. Let's see if I survive this. Yeah, no, Prospector General, the light in the darkness. Um, just kind of futzing around with a prospector's pick and accidentally taking out a horde of drifters. I didn't end up doing any of the animations in the end, but it would have been so cool. I looked into it. I just didn't want to figure out how to get the shape files from Vintage Story into Blender. Damn. Alright, well, looks like that is it for today's Daily Peek. I appreciate everyone who came out. Your viewership is adored. And I will be seeing all of you guys next time. Bye. I need to figure